Well, now we're given a system of equations, two linear equations, and we're going to solve this system by graphing. But the first thing we need to do is find the intercepts of each line so we can graph the lines. So let's take this one and call it line 1, and we'll look at the two intercepts. So when x is 0, y, letting x be 0 here, y will be -2. When y is 0, that means we're going to let y here equals 0, therefore we're going to have -5 force x minus 2 equals 0. That is, we'll add 2 to both sides, -5 force x, adding 2 to both sides, we get equals 2. And now to get x by itself, we'll just multiply both sides by the reciprocal of -5 force, which is -4/5, and -4/5. And the product of reciprocals is 1, and 1 times x is x. And now we have 2 times -4 is -8/5. So there's our x-intercept, -8/5. And let's erase that, and we'll come up with the next two. So let's call this guy L sub 2, and we'll come up with the two intercepts for that. And so when x is 0 for this equation, we get a 2 back. And now when y is 0, let's see, that means we're going to set this -1/4 x plus 2 equal to 0 and solve. So I guess we'll subtract 2 from each side, and we get -1/4 x equals -2. Then we'll multiply both sides by the reciprocal of -1/4, which is -4. And the product of reciprocals is 1, and 1 times x is x, and -2 times -4, I get an 8 here. So that's going to be 8. Good. Now we can go ahead and graph, and I think we'll be able to pick off the solution now. So let's see, I've got to be at call this the x-axis, and we've got a couple of points to graph, 0, -2, so there it is, 0, -2, and -8/5, 0, well that's almost -2, so -8/5, 0. And when we graph this line, what we get is something that looks like that, and it's just going to keep on going, run right into our work over there. And now we have two other points to graph, 0, 2, there it is, 0, 2, and 8, 0. 8, there's 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 0. And let's see if we can make this work. So I'll graph this much of it. Okay. And looks like we wind up at 1, 2, 3, 4 by the graph, and keep in mind my graph's a little rough, -4, 3. There's the point right there. Now if we run that ordered pair through each equation, a -5 force times -4, the 4's are going to divide out. We get a positive 5, and 5 minus 2 is 3. if we run this ordered pair through this equation, negative 1/4 times negative 4 is 1, and 1 plus 2 is 3. Hey, it works. So the solution is negative 4, 3. Now, quarters are a little cramped here, so please let x be in each equation, let x be negative 4, and make sure you get 3 back, and you will. And so we just solved by graphing, and we're done with that. Well, now we have another system. We're going to solve it by graphing, so let's go through the routine one more time. So we'll call this equation line 1, and we'll find the intercepts, and we'll let x be 0, and when x is 0, will you agree y is negative 4? And now we'll let y be 0. That means we've got to set 2x minus 4 equal to 0 and solve. So we'll add 4 to both sides, and we get 2x equals 4. Then we'll multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 2, which is 1/2. The product of reciprocals is 1, so 1 times x is x, and half of 4 is 2. So now we know the x-intercept is 2. So let's go to the next equation, and we'll call this line L sub 2. And we're going to get our intercepts one more time. Put 0 in for x, put 0 in for y. Now listen, if we let x be 0, that term's wiped out and we just get a 2 back, right? If we let y be 0, that means that 1/2 x plus 2 equals 0. Now we'll subtract 2 from both sides, and that equals negative 2. Now we need to get x all by itself, so we'll multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2. Multiply both sides by 2. When we do that, 2 times 1/2 is 1, and 1 times x is x, and that equals negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, isn't it? So here we have a negative 4. Good. Now we've got the y-intercepts taken care of, the x-intercepts. Let's go ahead and graph this thing. And let's see, we'll call this the y-axis. And we'll call this the x-axis. Yeah. X and y. And now we'll graph points. Let's see, we're at 0, negative 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, negative 4. And 2 zeros. So here we are at 2, 0. And I'll draw a line through those 2 points. And there's our lines. Now let's do the next one. We're at 0, 2 is the y-intercept, and negative 4 is 0. Yeah, here we are at negative 4, 0. And now we'll draw a line through those 2 points. And where does it wind up? At the point 4, 4. So that's, by graphing, that's what the solution is. Let's make sure that's true. If we take the first equation, 2, and replace x with 4, we get 2 times 4 is 8, minus 4 is 4. Hey, it worked. Let's try this one. Second equation, 1/2 of 4 is 2, and 2 plus 2 is 4. Hey, it worked. So our solution is by graphing 4, 4. Yeah, 4, 4. So if you're a little vague on that, again, run the x-coordinate 4, replace x with 4 in each case, and make sure you get 4 back. So we're done.